Okay. Oh, wow. The stars really are in my favor. Oh, my God.
You did make that
Yeah,
roll.
I think... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess she gives them as detailed of instructions as she could as to where she thinks that the sands might be, where Farith and Athasha might be.
Well, thank you.
Keep quiet, Lorenzo.
Everyone else
He
is
said
like...
we could up in and say, you know.
And she was going to give Athasha her nice pipe, but she gives that to her cousin.
Okay.
And says, make sure, whoever her guardian was, her mother or father, gets this.
Right, and they say
information.
there will be a ritual. There will be a tribal ritual by which there is exchange of items, of which this would be an example, and there would be, and therefore, and the items that they give you are basically a symbol that all the jackal will know. Right, that so the point is, yes, this is a big deal to them. They've been looking for the sands. You help with that, then all is good. And the cousin will ask, "Are you sure you won't come back? The days are good for our tribe. The days are good for our people."
Yeah, I think she... I don't know if she has an answer. I think she just is very, like... She's been so determined to leave that it's, like, maybe a bit of a sunk cost fallacy at this point, where she's like, no way am I going back there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, you can pass a fairly reasonable time traveling with them. Well, let's see, they'll split up, okay? So one of the scouts and your cousin will travel with you to the point where it is most logical for you to go and make your way across to other tribes.
Right.
And then they will bear the word of this back to the jackal. Whereas the other two, following your directions, will be heading to the river.
Okay.
So in the quail area. But
all right, sounds good.
Right, now they are not stupid. They're going to ask, does the man, does he have the sense?
Yeah, he does, right? Yeah, he does.
Are they with the quail people? What has happened there?
Yeah, she tells them about the big fight, the battle.
Right. Now you didn't actually see very much of it. I mean, you heard on your way out of there that there was some kind of game-changing event. Right. And the noises of the ghost are probably, something dreadful happened. But they weren't normal noises. But you don't really know anything about it. And
right, so I don't really know that Farith still
has... And Athasha has
stand.
not... I don't think Athasha ever shared with either of you the details about Ithala.
No, right? I don't think so.
So that's where we are at right now. So, okay.
Yeah.
Now we have... that's your situation, and it's a fairly good one, I think. To clarify a little, perhaps I should save this for reflections or afterward, but I have low self-management at the moment, so I'm just going to blurt all this out, which is that the role did not change my preparation.
Right.
In other words, I actually had these scouts actually searching for you in a reasonably friendly way. Everybody was impressed at what little they understood of the encounter with the basilisks. They didn't even dare approach, right? And so everybody, what little they understand was very impressive. What they don't understand is why you didn't just turn around and come back to Sisavell like you said. But whatever. They figured something complicated happened, right? So they're just out scouting after you and tracking after you guys. Without they weren't hunting you down. Nobody was going to stake you out in the desert. Nobody was going to string you up or anything.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin is with him. That makes a lot of sense. I am thinking if that stuff was older, I have to remember that she, even though her age is pretty old for a human. She's still like a child.
Right.
So I really think because I think if she was older, she would be like, yeah, I'm just going to return to my tribe. These people, like, I'm going to be renowned. But maybe it makes sense that she'd just be like, no, So yeah, I'm struggling with that decision a bit.
No, I think that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, but on the other hand, who knows what will happen in the future in the long run? But right now, you've got you found a cool guy to go on the road with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, so maybe the open road is kind of appealing to the two of you at this time.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of, I mean, Ovsmek's point of view is, I mean, he looked at you because you had been so adamant about not going back. And he even looks at you and says, don't let me keep you from your people. He says, I almost in the sense of, I wish I wasn't saying this, but I can't live with myself unless I say it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I think she doesn't necessarily, I mean, they are her people, but like, I think she's kind of just like, she knows what she wants. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. So she just shakes her head to him, and I want to say here, I don't think this is necessarily. She's not thinking this is like her like ratting out or betraying Farth.
No, I get that. Yeah.
I think it's completely.
Yeah, it works
natural.
very nicely. Yeah.
Forget about that driver.
Right.
He doesn't have a clue.
Right, and also the way I want to kind of finish this section, if that's all right with you, is that after the separation with the fellow travelers has occurred and the two of you are off in the distance, you can probably pack up your weapons and your things and shift into Drake form and go and catch food together.
Right.
Something like that. Right. So
yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm leaving the two of you anyway.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay. And so then, and however, I will say that two Duster scouts / hunters who now have a direction and don't have to cast about looking for tracks and things like that, when the other two, when they hit the rocks and go off toward the Quail people, their purpose is terrifyingly inhuman. The determination and the way that they move and their directionality and their certainty and that kind of, I mean, you guys all wander off like in the rocks and chatting and things like that insofar as Dusters chat. But but they don't. They're like Right, they're on.
They're like like hunters now.
Yeah,
that's
on
awesome. That makes
so that's what's going on. So now that Farah feels great.
I like to think that this moment is where I'm telling Had, and I risked my life running in the middle of basilisk fumes to get my friend Vapshelk's stuff. I'm telling him about that part.
Oh my god. That astrology roll completely, I just will say, if that astrology roll hadn't happened, that scene would have been so much different. That's crazy. That is amazing.
Which is probably the same time that a little snake is coming up and interested, trying to listen and figure out what you are telling.
Right.
This should go in reflections too, but I'm kind of liking how far it moved to Dusters with like this burden of racism from human people, and Dusters are actually a lot more, dangerous to him in many ways in this context, and that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Terms. So this is kind of interesting because now, Ithasha has sort of wriggled up, and I don't know how visible she is, but you are definitely hearing this conversation, and you hear that Had and Farith are sounding pretty certain about packing this sand back to Sisiva and getting home.
Wait, I don't think I would understand them as long as I'm in snake form. Though the only clues would be the way they act.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry.
Right. No, that's a good point. You don't understand the human speech.
I don't understand.
Right,
I barely understand it when I'm in humanoid form.
Right. But I will also say that they have not, for example, fought a duel over the sand.
Yeah, and that's kind of bothering me.
Right. Hod has not sneaked up behind him and slit his throat. A possibility, a distinct possibility, depending on what Ferreth did, I might add. Yeah, he kind of looks like that sort of, frankly, he looks like that kind of guy.
Each other.
Right. But yeah, so they look, they look like they're going to travel together. They pack up the sands together. They, inspect. Hod is taking his part of the deal. He is checking, all of Ferreth's bandages, and they are basically acting like two traveling companions who are taking care of each other.
So one question I have is, any of them sees me?
That is a good question. Do you have any stealth at all?
No.
Okay, in that case... There
is probably some kind of 6% or something basic...
Whatever. I'm not sure if there is, because this is their observation against your stealth. I will say that this system in this game, I'm beginning to realize the skills make a lot more sense in contest with each other than they do as flat rolls. And I wish I had understood that earlier, because I think that's where the skill system and its failure rate makes a lot more sense. It's all about who fails less, right, or succeeds by more, either way. So in that case, I am ready with an observation roll from Hod, because I did, in fact, calculate up his little skills and things like that. I actually made him up. So...
There's like 4 skills for hiding from people. Because there's shadow walking, hiding, stealth, and shadowing.
Yes,
specific.
Exactly. There's shadow walking, there is shadowing, there is stealth. In her case, is there a hiding? I think there's a hiding.
Yeah, there is a hiding, no movement.
Yes,
actually, I think hiding is probably the right one. Sam, if you've got the book, maybe you can be our rules maven for the default for hiding.
It's the same number. I don't have anything put into that.
Right, but there may be a free value.
Yeah, the free value for my person is 7. But okay. I still have to figure out whether it's you or me rolling.
No, we both roll. We both roll.
No. You roll for me.
Oh, I see. 2. Okay. Oh, well,
that was what I was looking up.
So, in that case, I will roll for you right now. And actually, that could be a lot worse than it was. And then, so for Hod, oh my God. And how about Ferreth? Observation.
Yeah. No.
Well, yes, but by how much?
You're really trying not to see me, right?
But how much did you miss it by?
71 points.
Oh, you missed it by 71. Okay.
Yeah.
What that means is that you do not see her.
He really tries not to see me.
Right. But you do not see her, but Hod does.